Thanks, guys. So here we are on the verge of the playoffs, and we have two teams, 8th Protocol and Ballroom Blitz, fighting for their playoff lives. Sadly, one of these two teams will not make the playoffs. So let's take a look back and see if we can find out why each of these teams is here on Wildcard Weekend. And then we'll see if we can find a way for them to each have a chance to take home the win. First, we're going to take a look at 8th Protocol. As I was looking at their matches and their stats from round robin play, something stood out to me immediately. Of their 24 games played, 16 of them, that's 66% of their games, were decided by only one goal. Sadly, only 2 of those 16 games resulted in wins. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that they've been involved in some pretty tight matches, but unfortunately, they've been unable to come up clutch and close out those games and get the win in a lot of cases. So that's what we're going to look at in 8th Protocol today. It's those last critical moments of a game where we need to play our cleanest Rocket League and make our best decisions so that we're in the right place and position to take that shot, to make that save, to get that clear, whatever the need may be in order to come up clutch and to close out those games. So now we're going to take a look at a couple of plays and clips, and then we're going to break them down, see what went wrong with our maybe decision making or maybe even communications. And then we'll talk about how 8th Protocol can hopefully correct those issues and come up clutch in Wildcard Weekend. So our first clip here comes from Game 3 in 8th Protocol's game against BrB. In that game, they took an early 3-1 lead. With about a minute left, it was cut to 3-2, but we can see they're still holding that lead with 13 seconds left in the game, so we're really in that critical time of making good decisions so we can close out the game. So we're going to be focusing in on Spudsy, our player here in front of us, and looking at his decision making. Seeing if it was the best decisions he could make in these last moments. So let's roll our clip. We see Spudsy grabs 100 boost. He rotates back into the play, and we stop it here. We're going to look at the first mistake he makes. It's his rotation. So unfortunately, we rotate back into the play behind Sin. So this is poor positioning. We don't want to be behind a teammate. We're serving the same purpose if we do that. It would be much better if we rotated over to this part of the field and filled a lot of this empty space over here to prevent any balls squirting out into that empty space. So that's what we would have wanted to do. Unfortunately, we rotate poorly. That can still be salvaged, but let's see what we choose to do as we roll it. We come flying up. We don't trust our teammate. Unfortunately, we jump over her. We double commit, no fault to Sins here. So this is just not a good decision, especially when we look at how much time is left in the game and what the score is. We have to stop and ask ourselves questions like, what do I need to do to win this game? Do I need to score a goal to win this game? No, I don't. I just need to not get scored on. So we absolutely don't want to be double committing on the field, going for things unless they're a sure thing. We don't want to be over committing as that last man back, which is exactly what we're doing. So if we roll the replay a little bit more, we get a challenge. We fail to win the challenge. It goes really poorly. And if we change our camera here for just a second and jump back and take a look at the field and the positioning of our team because of our choice, everybody is beat. Except for Polar Bear, maybe barely, everyone on our team is behind the point of the ball. A full-on counterattack is about to happen because of just that poor decision to rotate properly and not overcommit. So if we kept watching this game, we'd see that BrB is able to push down the field, get a pass, score that buzzer beater, push it into overtime where they take the 4-3 win. So it's an excellent example of those critical decisions and really in those last moments of the game, how we can either come up clutch, close out the game, or it ends up costing us the win. In our second clip, we're going to take a look at Game 1 against Cookies and Cream. We're going to be focusing in on Polar Bear here. And in this match, Cookies and Cream was actually losing this game to 8th Protocol 4-1. But 8th Protocol, due to some bad decisions in those last critical moments with less than a minute left, give up that lead to allow it to be tied and forced into overtime at 4-4. So we're going to follow Polar Bear here, and we're going to see how he doesn't make the best decisions when our decision making should be its cleanest so that we can close this game out and get a win. So we're going to watch him take the face off here, roll it a little bit. Face off goes okay. Nice challenge by Spudzy. We rotate back. We stop here. We see, okay, there's no boost in that corner. We're not going to have any boost. So what should we be doing? Well, we need to be thinking about how can we get a little bit of boost before we rotate back to goal. Because if we rotate to goal with 0 boost, we're not going to be of any use. So clear pathing now. Grab this boost. Grab this boost. Go back post. Then we have 24 boost. And, you know, we can make any save in goal pretty much with 24 boost. So let's watch our pathing back to goal, see what we do. We flip, we miss that first boost, and we rotate around, we miss that second boost. We end up back at goal with no boost when we should have minimum of 12 and probably 24. We rotate back in. Spudsy rotates in front of us. This is fine. This is the right decision. But what do? Maybe due to bad communication or just pressure from the situation of the shot possibly coming in, we continue to move up on Spudsy. But really, communication shouldn't have anything to do with this because we should know without having to be told that we're last man back. We need to stop at that back post, allow Spudsy to do what he needs to do. We guard that back end of the goal. But instead, we just keep driving. We just keep driving. We rotate out. Yes, we steal that boost, but we've given up our back position. There's no defense. Spudsy didn't know we were going to drive by us. And so now here we are. We got no one blocking the back end of goal. The shot comes in, and Cookies and Cream seal this game. So again, just some really poor decisions in the last critical moments of games that we could close out. And I apologize if some of these games are bringing up bad memories, but taking a look at these things, the mistakes that we do make, is the only way we're really going to be able to correct them and learn from them. So now let's talk a little bit about what we can do right now before this matchup that's coming up that we can do to correct some of these decisions that we're making. So the first thing that 8th Protocol need to do is make good decisions in those last moments. And we can do that by asking ourselves questions like, what do I need to do to win? You know, do I need to score that goal? Do I need to not get scored on? Do I need to kill time? And that way it can give our team a focus and help us make smart decisions according to what we need to accomplish to win that game. Second, as a team, we need to keep our comms alive in those dire last moments of the game. That can be when it's the hardest to keep that communication flowing, but that is the most key time that it needs to take place. And really, that's going to come back to our team captain. The team captain needs to take the lead in calling things out like play smart, don't overcommit. We don't need to score to win, to help keep the team focused, making those good decisions. Really, that can be the difference in making a bad decision or making a clutch decision. Really, it's those small mistakes, those small things that could separate this team, 8th Protocol, from a guaranteed playoff spot or being eliminated. Next up, we're going to dissect Ballroom Blitz's gameplay. Looking at their stats, something became very evident to me quickly, and it's something that is a large factor, I believe, in this team finishing last in round-robin play, and that is their shooting. Ballroom Blitz finished the season with 113 shots and about a 28% shooting accuracy, both stats being last in the league. So today we're going to focus on what may be causing some of their issues and how they can improve quickly. Really, what better way to do this than to take a look at the first series between Ballroom Blitz and 8th Protocol. That series ended up going 8th Protocol's way, but it was an interesting series. In that series, Ballroom Blitz took 15 shots, which doesn't seem too bad. But of those 15 shots, only one of them ended up in a goal throughout the whole series. That's under a 7% shooting accuracy. Now, the easy thing to do would be to say, look, fellas, you just got to hit those shots, get into the training, practice more, and get better. But as we're going to see, mechanical skill is only part of the solution. And really, the positioning of our second man on the team to be able to take those shots is so vital. So let's watch those clips and see how we can learn how we can improve our shooting. So we're going to take a look at another clip here. And looking at this clip, we're examining how playing too wide as that second man can really have a bad effect on our offense. Because when we play really wide from that person who has the ball, waiting for that pass to come far across field, one, that's really hard to do. It's really hard to get those strong infield passes across the field to our teammates. It's a high level thing to take place. Two, when those passes come across, that gives the enemy team a lot more time to react to the ball. It takes a long time for that play to develop. It takes away that ability, if we're playing too wide as the second man, for the ball to, let's say, come off of this wall and us get a clean shot. So there's a lot of downfalls to playing too wide. It's better if we play tight to support our second man, keep that tight, and then if something doesn't work, we can then rotate out. And that allows our third man to come in for those maybe plays that end up going high off the backboard. So as that third man, they can then get those. So those are some downfalls of playing too wide as that second man that we can run into, and that's happened a few times. We're going to take a look at a couple examples. So here in our first one, we're going to see we see Spudsy and iRightSins. They've just missed the ball. They've both got a whiff. They're going off into the corner here, and Jakudakon is turning on the ball. We've recognized that. We're looking at Trentino now right here. So we're going to see what he does. So it would make sense to support him wherever he goes. We're going to want to support Jakudakon in case a challenge comes in. Then we can follow that up, or maybe he wants to make a pass to us that we're not too far away. We can shoot that in because we don't want to leave too much space for the enemy team to intercept it. So let's see what our first reaction is when we see that Jakudakon has this ball. We immediately turn away from the play and head in the opposite direction as Jakudakon. We can literally see right now he is heading this way and we are heading this way. There's no support being given. And if we roll it just a little bit more, then it becomes confusing because now all of a sudden RedWreck is in better support of Jakudakon, which doesn't make sense because he should be third man. So it's like we're the third man now, but he's the third man, but he's supporting like the second man. So it's very confusing, this rotation that's taking place here, because we've chosen to play so wide. And if we roll it a little bit more, we see what happens. Jakudakon tries to get a pass in field to us, and we're just so far away from the play that this ball literally has to come to midfield. We have to stop and wait, and then we just don't get the shot anyways, and it just doesn't work out. So if we play that ball tighter with Jakudakon, we can get that pass a lot easier, sooner, have a better angle on goal. So just support those teammates. Don't leave such a gap. Let that be for the third man on the team. All right, our last example comes at the end of game 2 against 8 Protocol again. And here we see Trentino's moving out. He's going to put some pressure on the ball. We're moving out as well. I like this because RedWreck's behind us, so we're nice. We're supporting tight to Trentino. He's going at this ball. He gets a touch. But then as he follows it up the wall and is about to get a hit, we start putting a lot of space between us and Trentino. Look, we're getting even wider. We've completely turned away from the play. If something were to happen to this ball, we are pointing over here. We should be pointing like in, and we should be back more. We're getting ahead of the ball here. We can see Trentino tries to make a play on it, and he does. He gets a nice pass, but we are so far across field that we have no shot. We have no angle on the ball to put pressure with a shot on goal. So we cut really hard across the field and hit the ball. Whereas if we were tighter, supporting over here as he passed it out, we would have a nice lined angle on the goal. We could have taken a shot, put pressure on. Probably still couldn't have won this game as there's not much time left. But those are the kind of things I'm talking about. Playing too wide on the ball. We can see our teammate's going to get a touch, but yet we choose to get really wide, thinking that somehow he's going to get that massive boomer across field and we're going to get that redirect. It's just not an effective way to play offense. Leave that for the third man to come in and try to clean that up. While we only watched a couple clips, I found about 5 to 6 examples of the same thing happening throughout that series against 8th Protocol. So this is something that Ballroom Blitz need to address, and they need to address quickly with Wildcard Weekend coming right up. So let's recap. Ballroom Blitz should focus on tightening up their offensive rotations. Having that second man play closer to the person passing the ball will give them more opportunities to take shots. It will also give them a better angle on the ball, which will result in more power and more accuracy, and ultimately in more goals scored, which will equal wins. I think that if Ballroom Blitz can correct this, they will stand a good chance against 8th Protocol this weekend. So while it's true that these two teams are fighting for a chance to get into the playoffs, they're really also fighting for a chance for that fresh start, where they can put the slow start that they've had behind them. And if they can make it into playoffs, I think that Ballroom Blitz and 8th Protocol have just as good a chance as anyone else to take this tournament. Well, that's it for me. My name is Josh Ola. Thanks for listening and enjoy the action this wildcard weekend. And now we'll send it back over to the desk.